It's a great day, my amazing CEOs. Thank you so much for allowing us to stream into your home or office this morning or this evening or this afternoon or whatever time you're watching, by the way. These are very incredible, remarkable times that we live in. And now more than ever, as the CEO, focusing on the sales department is the number one strategy to make sure not only the business is profitable, but it continues to have the impact and the resources that it needs through the revenue that it makes to serve the dream that you have and impact the lives of folks who depend on you the most. So every morning when we get together as part of this CEO sales huddle, we always take a look at our philosophy, and our philosophy has remained unchanged. It's one that we've learned and we've adapted as our own, and that is success leaves clues. Now, if that's true, which it is, there's got to be a footprint somewhere, right? So we can take a look every morning at a business case, look at what another CEO has done, look at the challenges they face, and then what was their strategy? What was their sales message? What was their sales positioning, sales structure, and sales system that they use to actually turn the business around, are lessons that we can take away from it. And I enjoy doing that. So we're going to start right there this morning. Again, thanks so much for being a part of this. I'm so glad you're here. In today's fast-paced environment, especially in the e-commerce world, which is really always changing, by the way, trying to stay ahead of the competition is virtually impossible, but it is possible. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it really is, by the way. And one of the challenges that many businesses face is doing just that in an environment that's already saturated. And there's a company we're looking at this morning called Poshmark. Now, Poshmark seems to have found the winning sales formula, by the way. Now, they have a whooping 80 million users right now. So this is an app. They've got 80 million users, and they've got 200 million listings. So they're a company that really puts fashion together, by the way. So you're able to buy clothes online. You can go take a look at it yourself, by the way. And they're an outstanding example of success. But what makes their business model so unique, and how can other companies like ourselves, how can we learn from it as CEOs, is one of the fascinating challenges Poshmark faces is managing their no inventory model. So I want you to think of Airbnb, by the way, but think of it differently. Think of it for clothes. I mean, this is amazing. Most markets maintain stock, right? But Poshmark operates differently. Think about it. Clothes, always stock, always something. I think of online like eBay. They're doing something differently. They're emphasizing social connections instead of traditional inventory management. Their platform thrives on creating interactions between the buyers and the sellers, and they call them poshers, right? And the sellers can connect with large audiences and buyers and enjoy a personalized shopping experience. But here's where the magic lies. The magic lies in engaging both sides. Despite the massive amount of data that's collected, they're able to keep it all together. Here's a fun fact. Each item that they have, so imagine you have a shirt or you have a pair of pants or you have a sweater or whatever the fashion is, jewelry, pocketbook, they're listed by multiple sellers. So this presents a unique challenge, right? Like, whoa, who do I go to? Where do I stay? Poshmark's success, this is their sales message, is mainly due to the dynamic use of taking the data they collected, matching it with the seller, and bringing the buyer together. And so what they're able to sell as their unique selling proposition is the experience that the person has. And Kate Lay, Poshmark's senior director of retention, says, look, we can highlight the importance of leveraging the experience the customer goes to, talking about our sales cycle, and making sure at the end of the day that there's a direct experience that brings everyone back. So for your sales strategy, here's the point I make. Think about how you can take your data. You can take your sales system. You can map that together with your sales strategy. And not only can it be more efficient, and not only can it drive deeper connections with your target audience, but just like Poshmark, when you have that sales system that brings everything together, that doesn't just solve problems, but it effectively brings a community together. They feel safe. They feel like everyone's just like them, and they're in a place where they can flourish. That's where you'll see your sales go up. It's about that connection and community, and that's the magic in their sales strategy. The power of having a solid sales strategy, here's my big takeaway, by the way, is Poshmark is a prime example of how deliberate cross-functional collaborations inside of a community can lead to an exceptional customer experience. Remember, a structured sales system doesn't just about boosting the revenue. It's about building the relationships, the connections in the community. You do that, oh my gosh, you'll see your sales go up, 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 up in a way. With that being said, my name is Shay Brown, host of the CEO Sales Huddle. It is an honor and a privilege to serve you this morning. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Can't wait to get started as we do every single morning with our mantra. And our mantra that we love to do every single morning, our mantra is focus on sales. Our mantra is focus on sales. It's 4 words. It's not that difficult, but it's easy to understand, but sometimes it's not easy to execute. So go ahead and say these 3 words after me as the CEO of your company. Focus on sales. Let that sink in for a moment. Because the big why is, if you can't focus on sales, you can't be in business. Why, Shay? Because sales at the end of the day is the oxygen for every great business in history. And without sales, there's always more money going out than there is coming in. The point that I want to make and really land is the conversation we're having is selling is really serious business. Now, also every morning we take a look at the CEO and we say, as the CEO, what do we need to do? What can our pledge be back? We know what the mantra is for the sales department. That is focus on sales. If you're in sales, focus on sales, right? When you're wearing that hat and you're wearing that role. But at the same time, the other question on the other side is, what can we do as a CEO? As a CEO, we can have a 3-part pledge. And our pledge is learn, earn, and return. And I want you to share this with me. I have to learn something new. Go ahead and say that with me. I have to learn something new in order to learn new revenue from existing clients in order to get new and old clients to return. So I must learn, I must earn, and I must return. And then as we have this conversation inside the sales department, we like to take a look at what our objectives. So you imagine you're the CEO, you're having this conversation with your sales department. It's you and I, we're in the huddle right now before you have your meeting with your sales department. And we know we've got 3 objectives. And our 3 objectives are really, what's the progress? So what's the growth? So we take a look at how do we do yesterday? How do we do the day before? What can we expect today? And then we go all the way to the other side. We don't stop there. We go back and we look at, wait a minute, what are the hurdles we have to face? Did we not just do that this morning with a whole case study? Was it easy? No. Was it a saturated market? Yes. Did they have to stand out? Absolutely. But it was possible. And then we look at the 5 sales pillars that every CEO must know and understand in order to be successful. Sales pillar number 1 is you must have a 1-page CEO sales plan. Above all things. If you don't have a 1-page CEO sales plan, we'll help you with that. Number 2, a sales cycle. Number 3, a sales message. Number 4, the CEO sales dashboard. And we do a whole segment today on just the CEO dashboard. So you can take a look at the dashboard and run the entire company and then having a sales team. You know, success is a team sport. You can only get so far by yourself. How true is that? Now, for everyone who's tuning in and you watch every single morning, boy, do we appreciate you. And if you're watching for the first time or even if you're here every morning, look right below the video. I love to stop here because, you know, you can see me. And I know that's probably pretty cool, but I can't see you. But how can we all communicate? How can we build this community? Well, look right below the video, and put hashtag I'm here. Hashtag I'm here. Just hashtag I'm here right below the video. If you could do that, if you're on one of the social media platforms, you can do that. That's the bat signal that you hear, by the way. Or if you're all the way on the other side, and if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. It's okay. It's okay. If you're all the way on the other side and you're like, Shay, I'm on Roku right now. I'm on Apple TV. I'm listening to the podcast, but I do want to participate. I do want to have a question. I do want to let you know what I'm enjoying about it or what my thoughts are. Go over to @IamChayBrown. Go to @IamChayBrown. Like, go to @IamChayBrown right now. Drop me a DM right now and just say, hey, Shay, what's going on? And I'll connect back to you. Isn't that kind of cool? Because I want to see what you're up to. It's not all about me. It's also about you. Now, as we're doing that, the question comes up, Shay, why the CEO Sales Huddle? What is it? The CEO Sales Huddle is a place where CEOs gather to really understand how to sell more faster, easier, with less effort, by the way. And we understand you know how to sell, but our big why is all about sales growth. It's all about accountability. It's all about consistency. And to make that happen, we've come up with a formula that seems to be working really well for a number of our clients. And that is, we only need 15 minutes each day. 15 minutes. Now, you got to think about that for a moment. There are 1,440 minutes in every single day. Every day there's 1,440 minutes. And of that 1,440 minutes, we're asking for 1% of the day. So we're like, okay, can you take 1% of the day to focus on this one area, which is sales? And inside this one area, our number one objective, number one, not number two, not number three, not number four, our number one objective is for you to generate $100,000 a month of consistent, predictable, reliable revenue. This is over and beyond whatever you're earning today. It's a result of being in this conversation. You generate an extra $100,000 a month. And now the question is, how do I get there, Shay? I like that, but how do I get there? So we've created something called the CEO Sales Dashboard. CEO Sales Dashboard looks at 5 metrics: leads, appointments, offers, deals, and repeat business. And you can go over to www.CEO Sales Dashboard right now, and you can download it. Now, for those that have it already, you can go ahead and open it up right now. And when you open it up right now, it's going to look just like this. It's going to look just like this once you open it up. And there we go there. And then once you open it up, it looks just like this. And when you pull it up, there's leads, appointments, offers, deals, and repeat business. So for all the new folks, you would go all the way across the top, find today's date, come down and say, how many leads came into my database yesterday? How many appointments were set yesterday in my sales department? How many appointments were run yesterday in my sales department? How many offers were made yesterday in my sales department? How many leads were set up in my sales department? What gets measured gets managed. What gets managed gets better. That's what this is all about. Today, we'll take a look at one area. We'll do a deep dive in just one area. The one area we'll do a deep dive in is deals. And I want you to think about it. How many deals closed yesterday? You can put in there your number one focused product and number two. And then if the deal wasn't closed, I used to beat myself up, but I don't do that anymore. And I would say if it didn't close, maybe I didn't have a good day. And that's not true. We can go over and take a look now and say, well, wait a minute, what were some of the pending opportunities that took place? Pending means which ones were hot, which ones were cold, which ones were warm. Hot meaning they're going to close in the next 10 days, 0 to 10 days. Warm means, well, they're not quite there yet, but it could happen in the next 10 to 20 days. Now, don't have time to get into the details now. Our third one is 20 days and above. That means, well, this is going to be a little bit cold. We got to do a little bit of work to get there, by the way, but that's okay. Then we move to our next segment, which is celebrate wins. I believe that powerful people ask powerful questions. Why? Because questions their focus. And in this life, you get exactly what you focus on. So we're going to ask ourselves 3 powerful questions. Number 1, what are you most proud of? Seriously, for the sales department. You take a look at the sales department, everything the sales department is doing right now and everything it did yesterday, just yesterday. What are you most proud of in the sales department? What was your biggest accomplishment in the sales department? In fact, you look at the sales department, you think to yourself, if I could brag on my sales department right now and just come on here and talk about what happened yesterday, what's the one thing I would brag on? I just can't wait to tell everybody if I could bring you on here right now. So what's the one thing you want to brag about? And then we don't leave it there. We're going to go all the way to the other side. We're going to say, wait a minute. Every day's not cupcakes, unicorns, and rainbows, okay? We understand that. So let's go take a look at the other side and let's look at, well, what were some of the hurdles? Powerful people ask powerful questions because questions their focus. In this life, you get what you focus on. So my focus right now is, what was your biggest roadblock yesterday? What was preventing you yesterday in the sales department from moving forward? And number 3, what's the one thing you can do that if you did it, it would just move the life and or business forward? What would you say? What would you say? What's important to you? Isn't that amazing? Isn't that incredible? Isn't that a good time, a good place to be in? And so my message of the day is focus on getting in front of people who have a problem. You know, one of the biggest challenges we see sometimes is with the sales department is they're just not in front of enough folks who have a problem. So you think about that, that would come down to your lead generation system. So if you were looking at the CEO sales dashboard, my message is how many leads are you getting in front of and how many of those leads are qualified, because it's no longer about having a lot of folks and saying, well, I got in front of 1,000 yesterday. You could have got in front of 5. If they were your 5 target audience, any one of those could make a difference. So my message for you today is focus on your lead generation system, because without leads coming into the business, without you getting in front of people who have a problem, and as a CEO, it's really your responsibility to carry that message forward, then you will see your sales go up, 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 up and away. With that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, host of the CEO Sales Huddle. It's an honor and a privilege to serve you. Thank you so much for allowing us to stream into your home and be a part of your sales department. Be a part of your huddle every morning that gets together to focus on sales, which is the revenue driver for the entire company. I don't know if I can say that again. I'm out of here. Peace I'll see you all on the other side. Bye-bye.